I want to talk briefly with you about the phenomena we are witnessing in the United States today. A kind of rush of people who are desperate to get back to their jobs, to their lives, wanting to shortcut when it comes to masks and gloves and social distancing. And we're hearing from our epidemiologists and our medical advisors that this is extremely dangerous and ill-advised. We see on the one hand President Trump and Republican governors, especially in places like Florida and Texas and Arizona, on the one hand proudly urging their people to get back to work, back to quote-unquote normal, and yet at the same time realizing, as their medical and hospital authorities tell them, they are besieged by a surge of viral infections, that they have to do something, and they're getting caught in the crossfire. I know where the blame lies in the misadvising of masses of people, and you know it too, and I'm not going to bother you with it. What I want to do is to explain why this very process, these tensions, are unnecessary and very unhealthy. Here's the key problem. In the United States, unlike most other advanced industrial countries, 42 million Americans, we're coming up on 1/3 of our labor force, have been thrown out of work. They are desperate, of course. They don't know whether the job will be there. They don't know whether the job conditions, the pay, and so on, will be the same when they return, if they return. They're desperate. The unemployment doesn't cover many expenses, especially the medical expenses, because many people's insurance is associated with their jobs and lapses when they're unemployed. And I'm not even going to talk about those who aren't documented citizens and can't avail themselves of any help at all. Millions of them have been unemployed too. No, I want to talk to you about how it is that we permitted corporations seeking to secure their profits firing millions of people. They didn't do that in Germany. They didn't do it in France. They didn't even do it in England, which is otherwise such a copy of the US. What's going on? Well, the explanation I've delivered in other of these Wolff Responds. Now I want to drive the point home that there are terrible consequences, deadly consequences, from treating the American working class so badly, so much worse than is done in other countries. Those other countries are capitalist. They're often run by conservative governments, as in France, Germany, and England. But why are they not throwing people under the bus? Well, we've talked about it. They don't dare. Their people, those unemployed people, have a strong union movement in those countries. Strong socialist, communist, and other parties. They'd be in the streets tomorrow, and those governments couldn't move. They don't dare fire millions the way they do here, because we don't have a strong movement, labor movement, and we don't have strong socialist and communist parties. But again, my focus is here on the effects. If you subject people to unemployment, all of the losses that go with it, all of the tensions that build in it, all of the anxieties about whether and what kind of job you'll ever get again, you are, of course, going to be driving huge numbers of these unemployed people to become more desperate by the day. Of course, they want to go to the beach. They want to go back to work. They want to go get some income. They want to have some semblance of a real normal life. And so they go, and they go too soon, and they follow demagogic leaders who tell them it's patriotic to risk your life by going without a mask or gloves or without social distancing. But to blame the people that are doing it misunderstands. Oh, sure, there are a few party poopers and people who love to go where you're not supposed to, and those who find it fun to make fun of the government, which is trying to help them. Sure, there are some of those, but that's not most people. What we have are people that are becoming desperate, and they express it in a variety of ways. But one of them is to go to work too soon, to become quote-unquote normal again before it's safe to do so. But let's not blame most of them. They wouldn't do that if, as for example in Germany, they had never lost their job, that the government help to the corporations was conditional on nobody being fired, the jobs being guaranteed. Of course, they wouldn't carry out the antics that we see in the United States, goosed on by corrupt politicians seeking some temporary vote advantage. They don't have that over there because they don't need it. We have it here mostly because we have treated our working class so badly, made them so anxious and desperate that, yeah, they will come back to work too soon, and back to school too soon, back to church too soon, because they want so desperately to get back to where they were, because they rightly expect things are getting worse and worse. It is a cruel hoax being played on them and trapping them in the middle between those who want them to be concerned about their health and those who allowed the unemployment to be imposed on them, driving them to want to come back before it's safe. What a country, what a place, what a time we are living through.